From a club boasting the second oldest list on average, Hawthorn coach Alistair Clarkson was more interested in patterns of play than winning this match. Veteran coach Kevin Sheedy has been drumming the finer points of the game into preparing Greater Western Sydney. The Giants have the youngest list on average, and it shows.
It's a different generation, John.
I'm not sure about the headsets there.
David Hale was first on the board after getting the all clear from upstairs, before Hawthorn went for maximum points.
Now a chance, show and makers for a super goal, outside 50, right to the line, and he kicks the goal.
Rugby league convert Israel Folau showed another side to his game as GWS finally found the big sticks 7 minutes before quarter time.
It's a real good opportunity for Wilson, and he should kick a goal he's going to play on, and the Giants have got their first. Well done, Wilson.
Luke Bruce kicked the Hawks more than 3 goals clear at the first change, and after some hurry up from Clarkson, Hawthorn hit a higher gear.
And the runner is Savage. In turn, Osborne for a NAB super goal. Oh, it looks good off the boot. It's never in doubt.
The learning curve as steep as it can get for the fumbling Giants, and the Hawks made them pay.
It's been cleaned up by Osborne, given over to Hodge. Thank you very much, says the skipper. All clear, 1 goal Hawthorn.
Bradley Hill, brother of Fremantle's Stephen Hill, landed his first goal for Hawthorn, who closed the half leading 70-17. The Hawks opened the third quarter with an impressive example of support play going coast to coast.
It ends up with Smith. Now he can hand off and get the 1-2 this time, and Isaac Smith should just drill this, and he does. And they moved that quickly. It wasn't pretty, but it was quick.
High and low, Falau's work showed Giant development.
Folau comes at Cheney and wraps him up. Bang! Down goes Cheney, holding the ball. Are they loving this now, the Giants fans?
Oh, we're loving it as well, Matty.
Making his mark from code to code, a simple translation.
Is he? Is he Folau? Yes, he is. He's everywhere.
Hawthorn turned for home with a 71-point lead, while a 50-metre free kick, a piggyback for Folau to turn the corner.
He just needs to put air into this.
And he does. And Israel Folau kicks his first goal.
In the drizzling rain, Jack Gunston brought up triple figures for the Hawks.
Threw it on the boot and threw it on the boot successfully. Jack Gunston kicks a goal.
Adam Tomlinson with the last score for the inexperienced Giants. Full-time Hawthorn 2-12-18-108, Greater Western Sydney 4-10-34.
You know, the last couple of weeks I've always had confidence myself, and it's just about being patient with myself. And I think today, I feel really good about myself. So next, I've got to worry about next week now.
Charles Christian, Big Pond Sport.
Oh, not so much about who was missing or anything for us. It was more about getting game time into the players that did play for us today, and GWS should be exactly the same. At this stage of the year, you're not as interested in wins and losses as much as you are the game time and the match conditioning. And these 4 games that we play, and probably even into the early part of the season, it'll take some time for the players to be fully match conditioned. But this whole transition from getting them into gameplay is what's crucial for us. And it was a good hit-outs for us in that regard today. We got a lot of game time into our players, albeit that some, because of the sub rule, can only play a half. But that's the way it is. You just got to deal with that and move on. But we'll recover pretty well from this game and get another 25 or 6 blokes next week into the game against Melbourne and get some more game time and prepare ourselves as well as we can for the early part of the season.
Still pulling away from them margin-wise in the last quarter. Did the boys run out of steam, or was that because of the rotations of the players? Or
we kicked 2 goals 6. That doesn't help too much when you don't kick straight. So we still had our opportunities in the last quarter and just didn't nail it on the scoreboard. But we're really pleased to keep the GWS side to a really low score. They only hit the scoreboard, and 4 goals for the day is pretty good defensive work by our guys. But like us, they missed a couple of sodas that they should have probably got throughout the course of the game too. So that happens in games, and also the games, the spectacle fell away as players fatigued on both sides. Both sides were dead on their feet. For some of those young guys for GWS playing their first real senior tilt at an AFL game, they were dead on their feet too, some of those boys. So they will have got enormous benefit out of the game as well.
What did you make of the Giants, Alistair?
Well, they're pretty competitive. You look at the stats, the clearances, the free kicks. I know the free kicks doesn't mean much, but usually it can happen that young guys give away a lot of free kicks. They were in under pretty well. Contested marks, they took a lot of marks. And they possess the ball a bit. They'll get better with every game that they play. Now, I don't know how many how competitive they're going to be throughout the course of the year. They're a very, very young side, just in their infancy. But there were some things out of the game that I'm sure Choco and Sheed to be really pleased with. But once again, just like us, I think that they'd be just really keen to start getting their boys used to 4 quarters of footy in AFL company.
Apart from the back line, which you've already mentioned, was there anything else about the game today, or the way you guys went about it, that you're particularly happy with?
No, we're just happy. We know that we're rusty in terms of our various parts of our game, and but you expect that at this stage of the year. So we'll work on that. It's just more about game time. There's a really good even spread amongst our players in terms of making a contribution. That was pleasing. We didn't have anyone that played a shocker, and we didn't have any guys that were just clearly best on ground and just dominant for 4 quarters. And at this stage of the year, just an even contribution is what you're searching for, and getting game time into your players and just exposure to hitting bodies. And from that point of view, it was really pleasing.
How was a good target at times there today? I think Lyle spent a lot of time forward this year.
I don't know how much you've been watching us, but he's played a fair bit of his footy up forward in the time that he's been here. So he'll continue to play a similar sort of role. He did that again today. He kicked 3 goals for us, and he was unable to play in NAB 1 because of an ankle injury that he rolled his ankle in training the previous week. But it was really good that he's able to recover quickly from that and get the game time. So he came out of the game just before 3/4 time, given that he hadn't played any game time NAB 1. So hopefully he'll build his game time a little bit further next week against Melbourne.
Keep sharing sort of some of the ruck duties.
Yeah. We had young Grimley who came on and did a couple of things, and he shared it with Bailey and Hale throughout the course of the game. So that was really good exposure for Sam to get some game time in senior company.
You played a couple of ruckers from last year. It was just their games and carried down last year as well.
Yeah, Bowman was good, and young Bradley Hill played in the first half, and then we subbed him out in the second half to give some other lads a run. But he did quite well and kicked a really good goal on just on half time, which was pleasing. Young Woodward got a knock early and then came off the ground, so it was hard to assess his game because he just didn't play enough. But yeah, we're pretty pleased. It's once again, it's just really giving these guys an opportunity and seeing how they go, knowing full well that they're on a steep learning curve, having just come into our footy club. So Bowman in particular, I mean, he's a mature age lad. He's 22 or 23 years of age now, and ready to make an impact at AFL level if he's good enough. And we're really pleased with the contribution that he made today.
Is it the same approach next week, getting sort of kilometres in the guys' legs, or are you trying to step it up a bit and bring some of the big names in as well?
Well, some of those guys, we won't rest guys for 2 weeks in a row if we can help it. So all the guys that didn't play today will come into the side next week. So there's going to be a little bit of balancing act for us in terms of who plays and who doesn't next week. And we'll probably have some guys playing at Box Hill. But the important thing for us now is we get as many players as we can on our list, some good game conditioning. So we'd expect as many as 40 of our list next week to be playing either against Melbourne or for the Box Hill side.
Do you guys want to win the NAB Cup?
We'll just take it as it comes. If we continue to win, we're happy to go through. If we don't, then we're none too fussed. The whole focus is about round one and preparing as well as we can. And if we can get into some good habits of playing winning footy in the NAB Cup and we continue through, then we're not trying to lose it, but nor are we going all out to win it either. So if it comes our way, it'll just be a bonus. But it's more about getting game time into our players and preparing them as best we can for the early part of the season.
Well, we probably need about another 3 of those sort of games to get players just experience. You know, we need them to probably play not longer than that game. But probably, I mean, every time they got ahead, we kept actually trying hard. I was pretty impressed with that part of our game. We didn't really throw it in. Our endeavour was trying to get back into the game by trying to contest and win the ball. Obviously, they're playing against players better than them. And so I think if we played another 3 of those games, I'll get that experience would be pretty handy. You know, we're probably only going to get another opportunity to play 2 before we play the Swans. And but when you're going out there to play your early games, you muck up, you make goal-wise. We got the ball inside 50, 36 times with a bunch of under-19 kids really. So it wasn't that bad, you know. We could have got a bit more sort of score out of it. Would have lifted the team's probably on-ground morale and confidence. And they're sort of things that you can't measure that in a statistical analysis, but you can measure it on the way the team sort of feels, you know.
How cautious is everyone? Obviously, you're now getting closer day by day to the season proper.
Yeah.
Is that something that's spoken about day to day, and how's that impacting on everyone's sort of, peace of mind?
Oh, look, I think the players welcome the games. You know, they just want to get out there and know what the deal is and how quick and tough and hard and all those sort of things. And, you know, we probably had to kick maybe another 2 or 3 goals in the first half. It looks better on the scoreboard. But in the end, I thought we were getting it in there. And we had periods where we actually beat them at clearances and we didn't have the first hit of the ball in the hit-outs. And so I thought that from that point of view, you know, we might have been able to pick up, say, 4 maybe goals or maybe 5. But the players, when we didn't get them, I thought the players kept going, just tinkering away. And Hawthorn are a damn good side. They'll probably nearly be in a grand final, and I know they didn't have their best side out there. But, you know, I think our players will learn a lot out of that game. And, I mean, this is the second time we'll have on tape of these guys playing in the history of their whole life. And some of them are playing their first time. So, now, from that point of view, we as a coaching group are learning that too. You know, what we actually can show them and teach them that we got that right, you got that right, and look, we just got that part wrong. And, I mean, the way Hawthorn moved the ball with their very, very slick handball and running through, they do draw and take you on, and they actually want to move it just a little bit. Look, there's a little bit of rugby league and they're cutting and flicking the ball around. That's what I noticed more so at a closer look at Hawthorn than I'd seen him for a while.
What about Izzy? What did you make of his effort today?
Oh, obviously a terrific improvement. You know, I mean, he's starting to feel I can get this ball, and I mean even early in the game when he really hadn't had a kick, he was actually handballing, getting in low and playing footy the way it should be played. A couple of times early that. You know, he's probably getting harassed and jostled out of a position. But at the time of the boundary line, he got nasty. And I thought, wow, you know, there's a little bit of upset there. And I said, well, a little bit of a thermometer sort of to move up a bit. And I thought that was good.
Does it frustrate you to see him break on the lead and then the guys completely ignore him and just stick the ball up in the air?
Yeah, look, I mean, there probably could have been another 2 shots, maybe 3. But that happened the same last week. The players will get better. They'll get better, you know. And when they get better, that'll be a part of the end of the deal. You get a better lick of an ice cream if you get those 3 or 4 shots of goals and you kick 2 or 3, and that's up to us to instill that the discipline and the training of a person's vision coming down the ground of actually picking up the cue-ins of the space to the side of a key forward, no matter whether it's Izzy or someone else, you know.
What about that goal? He kicked the goal. Did you know there was a betting agency framed a market whether he'd kick a goal or not today?
Mate, I was told that we're 98 points in or something for the game against the Swans. You better go and help that government agency. They'll go broke. They'll go broke. I'm not allowed to give information, but just for a piece of humour, that's a very dangerous thing. I might flood the whole 120 minutes, and good luck to you. Hi. There's no rule I can't flood for 120 minutes.
What areas of the game did you beat Hawthorn today?
Oh, I thought our clearances. We actually won the ball out of there fairly well for a bunch of young players because, I mean, I wanted to play every player that come down here. So we took a couple of good players off at half-time and from that point of view, we didn't drop out in that area. You know, we had Giles, our number one ruckman at the moment, off the ground. And I thought Andrew Phillips's marking in the third quarter was pretty good, you know, and I felt from that point of view. But actual hitting out and getting first touch in there down to your own, our players read the taps pretty well.
So was it centre clearances or clearances in general?
In general, yeah, in general. Yeah.
So that's got to be quite heartening then?
Oh, no doubt about that. No doubt about that, you know. So, I mean, we're going to be coming up against one of the better stoppage teams in the AFL in round one, obviously in the Sydney Swans. So we're going to be up to the mark in that area, otherwise we'll get smashed, you know.
Who else did you like out of the young guys?
I thought Devon Smith improved from the previous match, I should say. And I think that, look, I probably would think that Keneally is improving week by week. I mean, the more games these guys get under their belt, they'll be much better. A couple of times, young Sam Frost looked quite good coming down the ground. He probably could belt the ball a little bit harder instead of patting it in front of the guy. He'll learn all that stuff, you know. He'll get it drummed into him by us. There's no doubt about that. Who else? I don't say too much because I thought our endeavour was good for a team that was getting smacked a bit.
You mentioned that Andrew Phillips. How did you rate the games of the other two Tassie guys?
How did I rate the game? I thought Moore played himself into the game a bit. I thought he let that ball slip out and they got a goal early. So I thought Moore played better because he played through a couple of errors. And I liked that. You know, came out and met the ball a couple of times, didn't let it pass. A couple of really good strong punches we won. Well clear of the, you know, and defensive punching, you know, you don't get a lot of ticks for all that stuff, but it's not the easiest position to play at fullback. And so probably better. Sam Daly had a quieter day, I thought. Yeah, I thought he had a quieter day. And you do have them. You do have them. You know.
Kevin, on the subject of Tasmania, you said yesterday this was the first time you'd been here.
At this stadium, the way it's built.
Yeah. How do the facilities here compare to what you've got? And could you see an AFL club being based here as it is at the moment?
Well, I mean, an AFL club could always be based here as long as the state wants it. It's up to the state and the people of Tasmania. I mean, I've often spoken about, you know, Green Bay Packers. I mean, there's more people in Tasmania than Green Bay. And yet they've been to five maybe Super Bowls and won 3 of them. And and your state has 500,000 people. So there's no reason if your state got its act together and constructed a plan that would want to get into a position. And I've got no doubt that the teams that are coming down here in Hawthorn, obviously the Kangaroos now, North Melbourne, they're actually doing the right thing because they're actually making Tasmania so, like, if you really want a team down here, then you've got to earn it a bit. You know, now you'll say that you've earned it, but because you've been in the game playing AFL footy a long time. But if I said there's 500,000 Indigenous people in Australia, and there's 84 or 5 players on AFL lists, I can't say that about Tasmania. There may be 15 Tasmanians on the list. So here's 500,000 people of Indigenous have got 80 plus, and here's the same population in Tasmania. Then you really want to say, no, we've got to get this better, whether it's every club, the sports department, the government, whatever it is, because if you want to be in the AFL at the next decision, whenever that comes, you want to be really well planned. And we've got a great ground here. You've got another one down in Hobart. You stop headbutting each other and enjoy the opportunity and work it. Then that to me would be the best way. And if we do bring another 2 teams in, then you've done that well at your planning that you do get in.
And how does this place compare to what you've got?
Up in...
where you're based?
Oh, well, where we're based, I mean, where we're going to be based, we're going to be playing at Skota Stadium. That's just going to be a fantastic goal. I mean, it'll be up around this sort of 25, 26,000 fully. I mean, we're going to probably have 2 or 3 sellout games this year in an area that probably hasn't really danced to the tune of AFL. So we play Essendon up there. Well, I mean, I think it'll be sold out. I think it'll definitely be looking at the Collingwood game, possibly a big, huge crowd at Skoda Stadium in around about the middle of the year. So we've got Essendon, Richmond, and then Collingwood later, and they'll be sort of they'll be built into big games too. We need some really great top class teams coming up, clubs, and sell out the games and really get these people in the inner west and the greater west of Sydney really interested in AFL. And we do that and get it right. But at the moment, this stadium, I think we'll have one pretty similar by the time we go and play our first game. Not at ANZ, it's at Homebush, and Homebush is about, I would think, 15 to 16, 17 k's out, not a long way out. In Melbourne, you'd laugh at, it's not that far out. It'll be Windy Hill or something like that, in the old Essendon ground. So there's a lot of work to be done. But I think eventually Tasmania will get in when the AFL Commission start looking at the next development of the game.
Kevin, we play Gold Coast next. Is that a good measure for you? Another new club or relatively new?
We just need games. We need games, and it's quite important for us just to play games. And whether it's Gold Coast or whether it's Richmond or Essendon, I mean, we haven't had an announcement yet of who we play in Canberra. But whatever we do, we just want to get out there and play against players of an AFL standard, so that we know where we've got to lift the bar and how far away we are to making sure that we're a very competitive unit.